One second. I cannot multitask, and that's what I'm doing. Thank you, Sheena. But why don't we just check on see who's in the room and see who is working on this Friday, the 6th. I see Tay. What's up, Tay? There's Io Kepa. How's it, bro? What's up,
Aloha guys,
guys?
happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Um, one second. Io Kepa, where are you from?
I live on the Big Island in Kamuela.
Oh, okay. Nice. You're investing right now
Uh,
or
I
looking to invest?
I have I have one property I acquired maybe August and just got one under contract yesterday. So
Nice. What's the one that's under contract?
it's in Missouri or Missouri, Kansas City. It's a 4 bedroom, one and a half
Hmm.
bath. So yeah.
How's that market right now?
I'm fairly new to the market. I don't know if you're familiar with WNN.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I tell you just asked
but
them in
yeah.
the chat.
Yeah, just joined with them back in June and just trying to hit the ground running, learn through action.
Nice. Love it. Yeah. I miss those guys, Jasmine guys.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah,
are they doing okay?
I fly out tonight to go up there. We're gonna do like a walk and look at a bunch of properties. So
Oh,
Where,
nice.
where are you going?
Nice, man. Well, safe travel.
thank you.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Kansas City. He's going Kansas.
Fun. You could go watch the
Muscle man just logged on. What? He just came back from the gym, bro.
Who's that?
He's,
Tay.
he's
It's
working
the
out.
angle. It's the angle of the camera. That's all it is. That's funny.
um, well, welcome everybody to another Friday. For Least Needs and Good Deeds, I'd like to actually kick it off because we do have another ask, which is our John Burns research survey. So if you haven't already filled it out, it takes like a few minutes, honestly. Um, and the fact that, from our last call, since we announced it, I was emailed later just a thank you because there were a bunch of people that filled it out from our call. So I appreciate you guys. If you fill out the survey, if you take a few minutes, then you'll get access to, I think you can choose one market and the data that they have for that market. So it's valuable information. It just takes a little bit of time. Sheena put it in the chat, but I know I think maybe a couple of people might have jumped on after. So Sheena, if you can just kind of drop it in there throughout our call, then in fact I'll repost it here. So I believe it. You don't see the messages ahead of, like that were posted before when you come in on Zoom, right? Um, so
Correct.
and then what was the other thing? Oh shucks. Oh, I remember. So we sponsored Habilitat. And Habilitat is it's kind of like a rehabilitation for people who are battling like addiction, abuse, anything. People who kind of need a second chance too. And I actually met those guys on our call. I don't know if you guys were on, but there was like four of them. And now they're good friends of ours, Katyeve and Jared and Corey and Jared. So we have a nice relationship with that organization, and we sponsored their Halloween event. So I don't know if you guys remember or if you guys have been through, but when they had COVID, if you live on Oahu, since they like canceled trick-or-treating, right, the Habilitat crew put on this drive-through Halloween event at the Aloha Stadium. And so this year we sponsored it, and they're awesome, man. Like they built out a whole set for us. So like when you drive through, I believe our scene is the first scene. And they're doing like radio ads and it would be on the news and stuff. So if you guys do have time, please go check it out. The Aloha Stadium, I believe it's till the 31st to the end of the month that they're gonna have it. You're supporting a good cause. It's a great organization. In fact, the people, they take pride in saying that it's the hardest program in the nation. And I believe it, because the people I've met through that program so far that are coming out the tail end they're just leaders. They're on time every time. They show me, how what we should be striving for, and they worked hard at it too. So I have a lot of respect for them, and that organization I think is amazing. So if you have a chance, please go check it out. I'll try to drop the link into where you can order tickets too as we go through. So Kiko, you have anything for Lee's needs and good deeds?
I have a good deed for
Anybody
Tay.
else?
He has been doing an amazing job finding people in Maui who need their deductibles covered. So she's been interviewing them, vetting them, getting all their data. Like, I mean, it's almost like a full-time little extra gig. But we have quite a few people. We're going to start sending wiring money right away. We had trouble getting the money out of GoFundMe. I don't know why it was so difficult, but they do. I mean, it's good because they double check that the account that it's going into is legit, and so they need all this tax identification numbers. It's crazy, but it's cool. So Tay's done a great job there, and so it's cool that we'll be able to really take care of some families. So good job, Tay.
Thank you, Tay.
Guys.
She's always supporting, and thank you. Appreciate it. Even in the background, thank you, Tay. And I got another good deed. Jaina saved me the other day from going the total opposite end of the airport. So thank you, Jaina. It was on Delta. Yeah.
Was
you're
Jaina at the
muted.
airport? Was Jaina at the airport when you were there? Oh, I think she's muted. Well, let's try unmute you.
Oh, she might be on a call, maybe.
No, I was just saying that I try to make all my guests feel special, but you are extra special.
Oh yeah, Corey's special, all right. He is so special that he has the
stop! I didn't mean it that way.
Where's the mute button?
I tell him that all the time. I'm like, brah, like I don't know anybody worse. In fact, true story. We're in the same hotel right now in Las Vegas. We're at the Resorts World. So yesterday morning, he calls me while I'm at the gym in the hotel. He's like, brah, I can't find my car. I'm like, what do you mean you can't find your car? Take mine. He's like, I can't find the parking garage. I'm like, are you serious? This is a hotel. This shouldn't be that complicated. And I was like, what do you see? And he's like, oh, I see this and that. I'm like, brah, you literally are at the other end of the hotel. The end where all the restaurants are, 180 degrees difference from where the parking garage is. So I think, Jana, same thing, right? He was in the opposite direction of where he's supposed to go. So this guy, he's like one of the smartest guys I know when it comes to certain areas of life. And then there's others areas like direction, clueless, like never, no color on the crayon on that one.
Honestly, sometimes I ask myself, like, how the hell did I get here? Like, I got here by having smart people around.
I'm just sorry that I wasn't able to get you a better seat. It was a full flight.
That's okay. I chose that one. I had like I would have chose the last seat in the back if I could, but it was a last minute booking too. So
yeah, you kept up.
I don't mind those seats. I don't know. I like to be
Delta. No, wherever you sit in Delta is a good seat. I say.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm a Delta fan as well, so I would advocate. Delta's a great airline.
Yeah.
Oh, you should see how they treat Kiko when they see. It's like, oh, everybody knows this guy. But thank you, Jada, for saving me.
No, so it's so funny, because after the last hui with Fuzzy and Zasha, right? So you came on, right? So it's like, So as soon as I saw you in the line, I was like, oh my God, there's Corey. I'm going to introduce myself. Because I see him, but he don't see me, right? He don't see me. I see him. So I was like, oh, come to my line. I can help you.
That's awesome.
You're so sweet.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, thank you. That was a good deed. Yeah.
Well, hey, just a quick update too,
um,
that for those of you who are considered going to the Rise Up event that we had planned for Honolulu, we have actually canceled that for a number of different reasons. And largely it was a strategic decision by the organizational committee due to a number of factors that the organizational team had in terms of other commitments. And so as a result, it just turned out the travel for people coming around from across the country just wasn't logistically feasible for the time frame. So they've canceled it. The Hawaii organizing team is actually working to create a video training that would substitute that for free for those who were going to attend. And so those who gave a donation to sign up to attend, the nice thing is that they're going to contact everybody just to see if they want to try to get their donations back or just go ahead and have the donations continue to the nonprofit. And then, we'll just do other meetups and such for the future. But so if you were considering doing next Saturday is canceled. So that was going to be at the Kroc Center, and then it was going to be at Dave & Buster's, but that is now canceled. So go ahead and spread the word on that. And sometimes that happens in life. Things just, you get so many priorities going, and sometimes you got to choose the one. So the organizational team just had a lot of things going on. So that's it for that. Any questions about Rise Up? Well, that was easy. No questions. Sweet.
Well, I have, before we kind of just open discussion, I had the NPLA call yesterday, and they had data analyst from John Burns on again, and they were talking about single family. They expect the fix and flip space the volume to be coming back, and kind of holding a little strong, because right now the volume is down at minimum 30%. It was 40% earlier. I feel like it's now more, the volume's down even more because interest rates are high. They're still high. And they predict that they think that it's going to stay high through 2024. So when we were talking about like it's going to be a slow burn, like it's going to be a slow burn before they start cutting rates. Now there are different opinions out there right now in what's going to happen. Nobody knows what the Fed's going to do and what the economy is going to do. But the data analyst that was on yesterday was saying that there's going to be perhaps a little bit of correction in some markets, some more than others. Vegas was one of those markets that he mentioned, Austin, all the markets that are kind of starting to see a little bit of a tick down, or some of them are a lot of it. Austin's dropped quite a bit, double digits. So but overall, it didn't seem like there was much to be, too worried about on the single family space. Although since interest rates are still high, since the inventory is so low, it's kind of stabilizing. It's keeping prices, in some markets strong. So, but once the inventory starts to come out, which they're not sure what might be the cause of that, a lot of people think it's the interest rates. But the interesting thing was that the data shows that the majority of people who sell or who buy houses don't buy based off of the interest rate. The majority of inventory that's locked in right now, like I think they said that will be released, are people who just have to move anyways, because regardless of circumstance, life happens, right? And so that's the main reason why majority of the times in a normal market, inventory would be released to the market is that life happens, people have to move, and people, change jobs, careers. So the reason why it's a little slower is because of the interest rates, is because they know that, okay, they're trying to put it off. Whatever obligations that would have made them move, they're perhaps putting it off, waiting. But if we know that interest rates are probably not going to be going down anytime soon, then at some point those people are going to have to move regardless of the rates, right? Is what they're saying. So that's just something, is to watch the supply in the markets that you're investing in, because that's going to be the clear sign of when a market's starting to turn, right? When you start to see more inventory come on the market. And that could be a cause from anything. Like it could move fast or slow. It could be events that, if unemployment, starts to break and crack, then, people can't pay their rent, they can't pay their mortgages, then inventory gets released, to the open market. And then we have more inventory, and then we'll start seeing prices go down. So it's a big question mark still. But I think at least if we understand the environment that we're in and what indicators to watch, we can do our best to stay ahead of, all the moves that may or may not happen. So just wanted to give a quick update of some information we got from the NPLA call.
Yeah, what's everybody's feedback on that? What's anybody else hearing? Is that some align with what everyone else is feeling, or does anybody have just this sense that, hey, that may not be in a certain market that you're in? While everybody's thinking, I'll chime in and just say that, yeah, I think just intuitively speaking, I agree with you totally and what NPLA is saying, because there's just continually a need for people to need to move, job changes, life happens, people pass away. So it's interesting, but I definitely am noticing a lot more price adjustments. So there is a correction already in motion. So in every market that we're in, even in the Hawaii market, you'll start seeing more price improvements, price reductions. So it's going to be an interesting market. So for those of us on the fix and flip side, and those of us still looking for deals, I think there's actually tremendous opportunity. Tell me, Corey, if you would agree with this. I was looking at some of the houses that are even on market these days, and the ones that are sitting on market the longest right now are actually the homes that need upgrades or improvements. So if it needs just a paint job, those seem to go. But anything that needs a kitchen or bathroom, or anything like that, or kind of more landscaping even, I'm noticing they're sitting on market longer. And I think we're going to start seeing sellers get really distressed and desperate to sell, because they're sitting on a property that has to sell. They don't have the money to upgrade it, which is why they're selling it as is. But they're going to have to take a massive price discount, because the average buyer right now at 7.125% on a residential loan, they can't afford that down payment and have another 100,000 liquid to be able to do the renovation. So people are turning more to turnkey properties or just shy of turnkey. And so it'll be interesting for those of us that are looking for fix and flip opportunities, because I think the homes that are distressed because of the condition and distressed because of the seller are going to go for massive discounts. What do you think, Corey?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I actually never noticed that. You're more, your day-to-day is more on the sales side too, right? So it's actually,
well, I got a bingo from Jana. So even though you don't.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's all I need.
Well,
I'm done. Call's over.
Yeah. Well, there is something there, because they mentioned that on the call yesterday with NPLA, is that they're finding that houses that need renovation, even if it's a light renovation, are sitting longer. And their surveys show that it's because of the younger generation that's coming into, they're about the time in their life that they're about to buy their first house. They're not willing to take the risk into buying, a fixer. Right. So there's less competition out there with the retail market when it comes to investors. Like when the market's hot, like you're competing against everyone, like you're competing against retail buyers too. Right. Because like they'll take anything. I remember 2021, only a couple of years ago, is like even a fixer, like you're competing against like cash buyers. It's like their first time buying a house, you know, and so, but now the field's different. The field's been clear, right? But there are less investors. Like the private lending side is down 40%, the volume. That tells me that there's a lot of investors that are scared. They're on the sidelines, right? Or they're taking a break, or they're shoring up processes, or they're clearing out old inventory from 2021. Because if you bought in 2021, you know, like, and you're still holding, then you're probably in trouble, you know, because obviously it's been 2 years, right? If you're still holding it, even in 2022, though. And it's very possible because we're seeing that, you know, across the board on the lending side. We can see all the data. And I think it's because just things took longer when we had like when we're going through the peak of inflation, where we had supply chain issues, you know, appraisers were all tied up. They're booked like 30 days out. We had contractors who same thing, you know, and then prices are going up. So that all adds up to, you know, backlog. And that's why right now the refi market is kind of just ready to open up, right? Because people need to refi out of bridge loans that they got into. And now, since the market's changed, like if they can't sell the property because, you know, their values are now, you know, they're not what it was. That's what we're seeing a lot in the private lending spaces. People trying to, you know, they're stuck. So, and I think because of that, they're not buying anymore, right? They're like, I gotta clear this old inventory. And so the volume's down. And plus it's a very uncertain, you know, environment. So when there's uncertainty, if you can't, you know, as a disciplined investor, if you don't have your signals to go in and buy or sell, then you probably should stay on the sidelines, you know, be disciplined to your guidelines and your boxes. So it's a hard market. I don't blame people for staying on the sidelines. You know, some people should. But I know for Kekoa and I, like we would go shopping during the holidays, you know. It's almost shopping time actually. We're looking out here in Vegas. So when everybody else is traveling and focused on, you know, gifts and family, it's like everybody forgets about investments, and like then the deals start to sit right in the holidays, you know. So, and then there's barely any competition. So
yeah. Anybody else got
anyways.
any thoughts on the market? You've heard Corey and I rattle on for way too many minutes.
Well, trying to see who's in different markets. I like to
But you know, the HBR stats are out, and so year over year for September. I'm sorry, I actually traveled just before. So when I saw you, Corey, I just got back the day before, and then I got sick on Monday, so I'm out. I'm glad you're well. Stay well. But it shows that the HBR stats are out for September year over year. So single family homes are down by 16.5%. And then condo sales are down by 24.2%. So pretty much, you know, the market is matching on what both of you folks are saying. You know, the reason for my travels is that I'm looking for a second base. So I went to Minneapolis, I went to Las Vegas and Salt Lake City. So 3 states, 3 time zones in 9 days. But you know, the newspaper and checked out the market on over there. Only for a second home. I may be flying soon for Delta. So I wanted to check out the homes there and what base that I would pick. And then I wanted to pick on Kekoa because, you know, Seattle is a base for Delta as well. I'm actually looking for a multifamily home where I can, you know, even though I will be commuting more for work, I just needed someplace to pick in the case I needed to put my head to rest some days.
I love it. Do you say your name correctly, Jana or
It's actually Jana.
Jana? Okay. Yeah, I have many friends that have spelt their name over the years that way, and everyone says it different. So I figured we should ask, but
Well,
that's
it's
so good. That's your traveling and trying to find a good second base for yourself. In this market, couple of things that I was telling, I teach a class on investing. And so I was telling the students that really it's like trying to make sure that you have some indicators for every market to assess, to compare markets. So as opposed to just saying, oh, I like Minnesota, and I went to school in Minnesota, so I really do like the Twin Cities. And then there's Vegas and there's Seattle and then there's Atlanta, right? All these different hubs. In terms of investing, it's different than the criteria of where do you want to live because the food is good. Like Seattle, Pike Place Market's amazing. The jazz music in Minneapolis is fantastic. Underground in Atlanta, phenomenal. Las Vegas on the Strip is fantastic, right? But from an investment standpoint, as a second home, I would definitely encourage you to take a look at where, as you're thinking about where you can lay your head, as you said, is to consider which markets have had strong population growth, because the markets that have the strongest population growth are going to fare pretty well through the season that lies ahead, right? And then take a look at the markets that also have strong median income growth, because that's gonna be a strong market coming through this next season. Look for a market that has historically over 10 years a strong appreciation in the real estate as well, because if there's a decline, markets that have strong appreciation over 10 years, they'll drop, but it's not going to be as much as a market that went like this for appreciation. Like it's going to go really fast. Does that make sense?
No, definitely. And that's what I was looking at. I mean, the whole shabam, right? So that's only 3 places that I went to. I plan to go and visit 8 more places because we have like 11 hubs, right? So we have 11 hubs, and I plan to see all 11 and make a choice from there. It's not necessarily mean that I'm going to be assigned, because, you know, it seniority is rules, right? Seniority rules. So even though I pick my first choice as where I want to be based, because Honolulu is no longer a base for us. So I'm gonna have to pick a base, and not necessarily my first choice would be I will be assigned there. But looking at Las Vegas, even though Las Vegas is not a base, it still will be across the ocean, where I could get anywhere faster than being from, you know, staying in Honolulu. But you know,
100%.
Honolulu is for me my home, my base, because I can commute wherever I go. It's just that, you know, to cut some time, I gotta find someplace on that side over the
Yeah.
ocean so that I can keep my job.
Well, let us know. We'll have a process with you, and then we have a licensed team in Seattle and Vegas and Texas and Arizona. So if you choose any of those markets, we can help you find that multifamily, because that's a great strategy. Find a place where you can
Right.
house hack, live in one, rent out the others, and
Yeah.
then let that investment grow as well. So
Okay, so out of the 3, just the 3, I won't do Minneapolis, dude. I won't do Minneapolis. That's out the door.
Yeah.
But Provo, Utah, that's a growing city right now.
yeah.
So I can handle the weather. It was so beautiful when I was there. I actually went there for a conference, and I took Uber to the conference, but the weather was so beautiful at this time. I actually took a walk from the conference all the way back to the hotel, and it was really beautiful. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's 1 out of the 3. Again, I got 8 more to go. But thank you for the
Is
insight,
Salt Lake
brother.
a hub
I'd
for Delta?
love to be, looking in Seattle.
Well, we're here for you whenever you're ready. Just let us know.
Thank you.
You get my email address, yeah?
I can hack you.
Yeah, you don't even have to go through that much work. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. There you go.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, the market's an exciting time. We got to go shopping. Got to buy some properties
Yeah.
while distress is happening.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good
Oh.
stuff.
Vegas, I'm about to start diving into all the the info, but are you watching it, Kiko? Have you? Because I took a break for like 3 months. When I started to
no,
realize, like, man,
Vegas is very similar to the other markets. But when I run it through my gauntlet, which is population growth, income growth, crime rate dropping, appreciation growth, like I just have a gauntlet of 7 factors. Vegas still soars and does well. I mean, there's a lot of markets that do well, but for Corey, you and I, Vegas just works out really well for us. And, you know, we just got to buy right. And right now, I think for us, with prices dropping and properties on market, it's a good time to make some aggressive offers and figure out what, you know, our criteria is. And anybody else looking to buy in a market, I think if you can really understand the history of that market, then you're going to be in a good position to make a smart offer. And Corey and I are going to, you know, we're making some pretty low ball offers, or I will be, but we're also looking for properties that can also multiply as a short-term rental, which in Vegas is very difficult to find. So we managed to figure out the Henderson market, which has really strong occupancy and nightly rates. So we're just a matter right now of just making some low ball offers and landing us a few. I'm happy with like 5 short-term rentals, but Corey for some reason wants 30. So somewhere in the middle there, we will agree. So, or maybe we'll agree when
that was like last quarter's number.
Oh, you gone up or
I
gone
think we're
down?
higher than 30 now. I don't know. Oh, up for sure. It's the only way.
Wow, let's get one first. Let's start. We need to get one then, and then we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. But I think it would be good to talk about why Vegas, right? Because like you can, like we were talking about, you can choose any market. And honestly, if you know the market so well and you have the proper relationships, then you can be successful in any market, right? So it's just you have to how well do you understand it? And for Vegas, it wasn't just the fact that it's an emerging market and it's kind of checking all the boxes for all of the indicators showing that it's a market that's emerging, but it's also the fact that it is the 9th island. They call it the 9th island, and there's a huge population of Hawaiians here. And that when, you know, when our investors would love to place their money, you know, in Las Vegas too, right? So that's another factor. So when you're looking at a market, there's so much to consider, right? Because yeah, you might see the opportunity in the market, but are the people who are that you need to back you, are they going to see it, right? And that's what you have to think about too. And for us, you know, we have teams already in Vegas, right? And so it'll be a quicker on ramp. So there's multiple reasons why, other than the fact that, you know, all of our due diligence on the market is showing us that this is a strong market that's going to be strong for, you know, at least another decade or so. So I would say find the right market, but also you have to look personally too, because eventually, you know, maybe you don't want all your investments so far away from home. Maybe you want them in your backyard, and maybe one day you'll move it that way, right? Because there's some peace of mind to that too. And for me personally, like, yeah, I want to build my legacy home, right? But sometimes you have to venture out to get the returns first before you can come back home, especially in Hawaii. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any information on what they got going on? Any markets that they're in? I wish we could cover all corners. I'm kind of curious to see what's happening in the Northeast. Jersey, New York. Because did those markets have they come back yet? Because during COVID, they did not do well.
Yeah, those are interesting markets.
I think they've all recovered. So it's just showing, like, you know, markets are cycles and it will come back, right? And we have to understand what cycle we're in. I haven't seen much of a flood of inventory from like the forbearance kind of scares that we were talking about like 3 years ago, and foreclosures. Have you seen in Seattle?
No, so it's interesting. I think that there was so much equity, right, that came up through COVID that has given people a little bit more
Yeah.
margin. So that's why we're not seeing the forbearance of the foreclosures. But if you actually look at the foreclosure stats in many markets, it's actually increasing. So there are now people starting to face that, largely because of the layoffs. So layoffs are starting to cause people some financial distress. So I don't think we're going to have the same craziness we did 10 years ago, but I think part of it is that it's starting to show signs that there is some cracking. So yeah, they're out there.
Yep.
Anne's got a
Anne.
question.
Hi, everyone. This literally is not relevant. I just thought I would chime in and be, funny. But to Jana's point about Minneapolis being out the door for her, I was gonna chime in earlier and say you really visited Minneapolis at the good time of the year. If you really want to make a choice, being from Wisconsin next door, go in January or February to really see if that's where you want to live. But she already said it's out the door, so never mind. But yeah, that's funny you made that decision in the summertime because yeah, winter is wild up there for sure.
Yep.
True. So true.
I've never been in that kind of weather, actually. I don't think I have.
Okay, for
What-
me, it's like I had the newspaper, right? And for me, honestly, it's all about community, right? And it's about the food. Yeah.
I like your style. That's how we do it.
It's
Wow.
community and
You're
food.
speaking to Keiko's
So,
heart.
it has to have some type of relation to Hawaii. You know what I mean? If there's not the community that I see that I can be in, or, I adapt very well with all kinds, right? Anywhere I go, I can adapt very well. But, you know what I mean? If I'm going to have to be living there and that's going to be my home base, is my key thing is community and food. Yeah, I can deal with
Yeah.
weather. I can deal with weather, but I just didn't get that it has to grab me. You know what I mean? It has to be in my
Yeah.
now that I have a place there. And that wasn't a place for me. But it was very nice visiting. It was a very nice place to visit. Everybody should go see the world and see the world.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, that's where Vegas is so nice, is like literally when I go out, like I was out running a couple errands today, and I just feel like I'm literally on the leeward side of Oahu. You get Hawaiians, you get Filipinos,
Yeah.
you get local food, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm craving garlic shrimp, and you just go to a lunch place, just like you were back on Oahu. So Hawaii, I mean, Vegas really is that ninth island, which is really funny. But yeah, good luck, Jana. It's gonna be awesome to see where you pick. And I agree with you. I got one of my master's degree up in the Twin Cities in Minnesota, and our intensive was 2 weeks in the middle of January. And when you come from Hawaii, you don't know how to pack for that. So because it's 80 degrees, it's hot. You put on 2 sweatshirts in the suitcase. You get on the plane in your shorts and your slippers, and then you get off the plane. You're like, holy frick! Like you can't even describe how that wind just penetrates every layer of clothing. And when all the clothing you got is a pair of shorts, you're just like, this is bad times. But it's a beautiful part
That's
of the world.
dangerous.
Yeah, you don't like frostbite in those wrong places. Things can go bad,
Gotta have the right outerwear to break that wind. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A sweatshirt's not gonna cut it.
Yeah, actually, I remember this is totally off subject too. I remember one time we had 4 of us from Hawaii, and we rented a car from Hertz. We bought full insurance, and it was in January, and we decided because we were going to drive on the lake because everybody goes fishing on those frozen lakes. So we took the Explorer out on the lake, and man, that is a weird deal. Driving down a boat ramp, driving on the lake, and then hearing all that cracking going on. But there's all these cars out there, right? And those little teepee huts and little chimneys. And so we pulled up to one, and we just kind of talked with the people there. And And they're just like, where are you guys from? We're like, we're from Hawaii. They're like, yeah, we could probably kind of tell. Nobody's this tan when middle of January in the middle of Minnesota on an ice frozen lake. You know? But yeah, good times for sure. Anyways, totally off subject. Corey, get us back on track.
Well, we don't have to go back on tracks, whatever.
Yeah.
I came on the
I'll-
call super late, but it just sounds to me like you guys are like talking about mainland markets, right?
Yeah, kind of talking about market conditions,
yeah.
what we're seeing, what we're hearing. You know, so what about you? Have you heard anything or feel anything or any markets you're in that you're noticing a shift?
Actually, I just joined a Utah RIA, and I jumped on the call for the first time this last week, and that was really good and insightful to talk to other investors that are a part of those like associations and stuff. So look forward to learning more about Utah and Colorado, and yeah, maybe I'll share more later when I get more divulged. But
Yeah.
if anybody is looking to get into a mainland market, definitely join the RIAs because they're free meetings and you get to chat with people that are there and investing there.
Nice. Is it a Zoom meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Utah. Oh,
Utah's a good market.
there's another Utah. Well, Salt Lake SOC is my favorite airport to fly into. Okay. Especially on Delta.
Lounge.
I just yeah. It's way better than like LA, in my opinion. LA is too crazy.
Brother, you can't judge a market by the Delta Lounge.
I mean, it helps, you know. Otherwise, I try to avoid LA. Okay, just want to take a quick reminder that if you guys, since there's more people that came on the call, if you guys can, the Sheena was dropping the link for the John Burns survey in there. It really helps win us some brownie points, and it helps with John Burns. And we're trying to get John Burns on our call, maybe the 3rd. So we'll definitely give notice for everybody, because I think that's one that everybody's gonna want to, you know, jump on and listen to. And they're gonna give a lot of insight into what they're seeing, which is kind of straight from the source. So they're very reputable company. I don't know if yeah, the link should be in the chat. And then also earlier I was mentioning how we sponsored Habilitat. So if you guys are on Oahu and have time to go check out the haunted house they have, then please do so. I think they have a skit going on for our company, and I haven't seen it yet, so I gotta hurry up and get back home and go through it. But your support would be greatly appreciated on both sides. So thank you guys. I want to ask John. John, you're in Vegas now, right?
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been on this call, so yeah, I'm here.
Dude, okay. We gotta link up then and go grab coffee or something.
Yes, for sure, bro. This time.
Yeah, definitely.
I was
Hopefully
talking to Diedrich last night, actually.
Oh yeah? Okay, yeah, he said he's been keeping in touch with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should grab lunch or something like that. And Keiko and I are trying to we're trying to lock in some insurance quickly so that we can get the keys while we're here for our new office space. And
yeah,
if you guys are ever in
office.
Vegas, like come check out our office. Yeah. We're gonna get it set up hopefully quickly and then have a party so everybody's invited. When's our party, bro? When we gotta set this party?
Well, we gotta get keys before we can have a party. Darn thing.
Nah.
Sounds like we gotta come back. We
We can start planning already.
John, come on down. Let's grab drinks. Corey only drinks Coke Zero, so that's the drinks. That's our extent of drinking.
Hey, no joke.
Well,
Fine, man.
Guys, we
Sugar-free.
don't have to stay on till and plan dates, but if anybody has anything else that they need, feel free to unmute. Otherwise, we can end early and then we can jump on next week. Anybody have anything last? Kurt, what's up, Kurt? Sorry, we've been Missing each other.
Oh.
Are you feeling better?
Oh yeah, I just the weather changes over here. It's just humidity and all that stuff. So yeah, let's hook up later, Corey. Just the things that probably want you guys to take a look at is the union strike over for the cars. I don't know if they settled that.
No.
Okay, so
It's not
that's
over. Yeah.
yeah, and then the whole thing that's going on with the House, the Speaker of the House, that plays a major role. I don't know how with the rates and everything. Maybe that's why they didn't raise the rates, but I would keep tabs on that. Who's going to be the next speaker, and then the auto strike. They did end the writers' strike, right? For some reason, the writers' strike play a
believe so.
role with rates. I don't know. I guess we can watch our shows now, but yeah, just keep an eye on what's going on in Congress and with the auto strike as well too. So that because that puts pressure on consumer on pricing of cars as well too. And there's nobody has a crystal ball, but they're looking at rates dropping first quarter. But as again, who knows? I'm just reading. Everybody says this and that, but there's a lot going on, unfortunately. And if you look at election year, for some reason, election year rates go down. I don't know what's in the water when it comes to election year. Look at every election year, the rates go down for some reason. So anyway, I enjoy listening to you guys. You guys be safe, and hopefully see you guys in person one day.
Yeah, thank you, Kurt. Thank you so much. Does anybody have anything else? Anything you need? Kikwa?
I'm doing great. If anybody needs anything from us, just let us know.
We are here. Well, thank you guys for coming on for another Friday Coffee Talk. I hope you guys all have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys next week. Hello, everybody. Take care.
Aloha.